Hi everyone, here's what's bothering me today. We need to talk about the abysmal vaccine rollout that is happening here in the province of Ontario. So for starters, Doug Ford, the progressive conservative leader of this province, is still blaming the feds for the vaccine delays and rollouts. Now, here's a quick summation of how this is all supposed to work. The federal government approves vaccines for use in Canada, and they're the ones who are supposed to organize delivery into Canada for distribution by provinces and territories, because healthcare is a provincial and territorial affair, which means when we go down to the provinces, provincial governments decide who, how, when, and where vaccines are administered. Then municipalities such as Toronto, for instance, they're the ones who decide when and where priority populations receive the vaccine. They're the ones who decide on what the local distribution should be and how it rolls out. And they are supposed to follow the provincial health guidelines because it's ultimately the provinces who make the decision about where they go. In the most simple terms, Canada buys and acquires it, like the federal government of Canada buys and acquires it from overseas, and they bring it in, and then they decide, province, here's your share, your share, your share, your share. Now it's up to you to distribute it downwards. So if we're having distribution delays, if there's a delay in importing, then yes, that's on the federal government. If there's a delay with just not getting vaccines into people's arms, that's on the provinces and the municipalities, which brings us to today's story. There are over 437,000 vaccines that are sitting in freezers. And the ideal target is supposed to be 100,000 doses a day in this province, which is again the most populous province in Canada. We have over 437,000 vaccines sitting in freezers and not going into people's arms because of how we're trying to arrange this whole vaccine rollout. And it's like, just get them into people's arms. There's so many frontline workers. There's so many people who have to work. There are doctors, like local family doctors, saying, please, give us some so we can start distributing them, even if it's via lottery, to our patients and thus, help increase the vaccination levels. People are literally begging for vaccines to happen, but the government is just making it difficult, and they're blaming the feds when it's clearly their fault. Those of you who watch this channel know that I am no fan of Justin Trudeau, but he is not the only one to blame here. Doug Ford and the progressive conservative government of Ontario absolutely deserve blame and derision for this absolute bungling. And on top of this, right, they have all these vaccines sitting in freezers and they're still just saying, oh, we're going to allow personal care workers who are unvaccinated to start operating more freely in gray zones, which are like the worst of the zones here in Ontario. Why are we not getting these vaccines into people's arms? You would think that if the goal is to have over 100,000 vaccines per day, and we just happen to have over 400,000 sitting around, they might say, okay, well, you know what, in terms of this rollout, we didn't get enough of the old people vaccinated. Well, whatever we have left as spares, then that can be a lottery for those who decide to wait outside of like a pharmacy or something. Like, these are drastic and desperate times, and such times require desperate and drastic measures. And yet here we are, sitting around, or rather our governments are sitting around and pointing fingers and just redirecting the blame. It's like, just help the people. Oh my God, why is this so hard? Why is it so hard for governments that we pay money to try and organize things so that they provide services to help people? Why is this so hard for you people to accomplish? This is literally what we pay you to do, and what you claim gives you legitimacy is your ability to do this, and you are failing at all levels. Federal, provincial, and municipal. Our governments are failing because of slow bureaucratic red tape or they've made mistakes, and because it's all politics, they're trying to redirect it to someone else so that they don't take the blame and they don't lose their precious, cushy political career. That's really what this is about at the end of the day. That's why we have nearly 500,000 vaccines sitting in freezers instead of going into people's arms and making the whole country safer, dose by dose. Politics is coming before people, and it shouldn't. This is absolutely infuriating. And the fact that this gong show continues to go on to this day, and we're probably going to have to deal with this for another year just based on how long everything's taking, that is unacceptable. That is shameful, embarrassing, and it is absolutely what is bothering me today.